welcome to the newspaper review on Tap TV. My name is Sophie John, your host for today. In case you're just joining us for the first time and you're wondering what we do on the newspaper review, it's a show where we get to look at news stories making the front page of Nigerian newspaper. We get to talk about them here and dissect them. And of course, I won't be doing this alone. I'm joined by a very amazing Jerry. Jerry, welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
Thank you for joining us on the show once again.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. It's nice being here.
The year is almost over. How many days do we have till the end of this year? On Monday is Christmas. Actually.
Yes. Compliments of the season. But it's not looking like it's Christmas. It's maybe because we are outgrowing the childhoodness, or
are we outgrowing it?
Yeah, we are outgrowing it actually.
As a nation.
Because unlike before, 10 years prior to now, 10 years before, you would be anticipating having Christmas clothes, how it will fit on you.
I want to understand the angle you're coming from. Do you mean we are growing it as a nation?
No,
or
as this generation is outgrowing it. Because when we're around the age of 12, 13, 14, we're only anticipating the Christmas cap, the music, the tunes, the outfits. But now these ones, even the knockouts, but these ones, you hardly hear the sounds on the streets. It's not even about the economy in general. It's just like maybe we are outgrowing it actually. That's just how it is in its entirety.
I don't actually think so. Although I'm not feeling the Christmas spirit and
exactly.
Everything.
It's because you are growing older.
Well, you have a point, Sha, but I don't actually think it's that way. I just feel that, what will I say? I feel it has something to do with the economy. You know,
somehow, boy, leaving the economy aside, you know that when last did you bother about clothes you wear for Christmas? When last did you bother where to go to during Christmas? To let you know that we are growing, we are outgrowing different, and now we are bothered about other things. What would I wear for this event? What would I wear for this show? What would I wear during this presentation and all that?
All right, let me agree with you on that one.
Exactly.
All right, we move over to our first newspaper for the day. Senate screens 11 nominees for confirmation as Supreme Court judges, and that's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Nigerian's public debt stock now 87 trillion naira. That's according to DMO. Senate panel asks IGP to produce CAC registrar within 24 hours. And you can read that up on page 5 of the newspaper. 2024 UTME, no increase in registration fee. That's according to JAM. And you can read that up on page 9 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. JAM is saying no increase. I saw it. I was a bit scared when I saw that news.
But it's actually good for people to enable people enroll for JAM and further their education. But to what end is it? Even if you slash it to 1,000 naira, these persons getting into school. Those ones that got into school when the price was higher, what have they gained from it? What have they gained so far? Have they been gainfully employed and all that?
But I feel like this is going to be a very bad move for JAM to increase the price of UTME registration fee.
It's
really bad. We don't need that
from another angle. Making the price cheaper makes education less valuable. Like my former lecturer used to say, education is not for the poor.
Education is
not for the poor.
I feel like everybody should have access to education.
Everybody should have access to education, but everybody should
whatever
have
you
access
do
to
with
the
it is
exact
your business, but everybody should have access to it.
You reducing the price, what does it change? Okay, after you reduce the price, and let's say if the price was, let's estimate 5,000 naira, for example, that it was supposed to be 5,000 naira, and 1,000 students are supposed to enroll on that, and then you decrease it to, let's say, 2,000 naira, it will increase the candidature of it. Like it will make 6,000 persons participate, enroll in it, right? After these persons, remember, JAMB has made it in a way that there would be increase in students that enrolled for JAMB. After they get admission, wouldn't they still meet a hike in school fees? So does it change anything? Okay, if you make the increase from 5,000 candidates that applied for JAMB, make it because of the decrease of price, you make it become 6,000 naira, 1,000 number difference. if these persons get to school and they are not still affordable, able to afford the fees, they will still drop. They will still become university dropout.
That's
So
looking
what's
at
the
it
essence? From another angle.
Yes.
Exactly. So while it's a two-way thing. While you slash the price in the JAMB, the registration stuff, there should be slash in the education proper.
Yes.
Because you cannot make the first part easier and make the other parts harder for they will still face the same thing. And if the school fee, the main thing that really matters is the school fees. The school fees, the acceptance fee, and everything that is as regards to the varsity fees. If the varsity fees does not have a decrease, even if it's 10,000 persons that are enrolled in that school, if it will record a number of 3,000 persons withdrawing from that school, it will still be so, whether the JAMB increases their fee or not.
All right, still on the newspaper, Nigerian importers may pay more as ship shun Red Sea. That's on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 19-year-old nabbed for murder of girlfriend in Bauchi, and you can read that up on page 15 of the newspaper. I'm so concerned about the age and what a young child.
It's really funny what the world is really turning
what
into.
Actually will make you murder somebody at 19.
It's very funny because at 19 years, we were only thinking of what to eat and what to wear and where to go to play.
Well, we don't know the circumstance of this particular one, whether they were fighting and it was a mistake, or whether it was our normal Yahoo boys ritual killing. We don't know.
Anything that results the taking of lives or causing injuries, for the minimum of having injuries, is questionable. At least for that person of that age. The age of 19 years, when you know your life hasn't even started properly. You just became a teenager a year ago. And then you just became a full-fledged adult and you are already taking lives.
That's really sad. Over to Rivers State. Rivers Assembly begins peace deal, withdraws impeachment notice against Fubara, and that's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. FG offers free train services, slashes public transport fare by 50% for 15 days. And that's on page 8 of the newspaper. I've been waiting to read this news. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, that's a thumbs up from President Bola Tinubu, right?
To me, it's
that's one of the things we need to hear this period. Slashes. We need more slashes.
But from another angle, it's a mixed feeling thing. Why I said so is, let's say we agree that you slashed this transport fare for us to enable us move around, go see our loved one, like he said, move around, go see our loved one, celebrate the festive period. But from another angle, okay, that is the happiness angle in it. Then the sadness angle in it is, what happens to these persons? How do we accommodate these transport companies? When you tell them to slash these fees, would they go to the filling stations and get petrol for a slashed amount?
I feel like the FG should have paid for that, subsidize something.
According to the news, they didn't make any subsidy as regards to.
You know, when I was reading comments concerning this early this morning, I felt like Nigerians didn't actually believe.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
They were like,
how do I go?
PRO.
How do I get to let's say a little transport company that is not a big one as regards to God is good and all that?
Although they stated the particular transport companies
exactly.
They have those agreements.
Okay, if I get there,
like God
how
is
sure are we
good,
that they've implemented it? If I get there now and let's say the transport from River State here to Abuja would cost a sum of 30,000-40,000 naira. I'll just get there and estimate in my mind. I'll come with a cash amount of 15,000 naira. And when others are paying the amounts, I wouldn't say anything. I would just wait patiently with my bag in my hand, waiting to drop it in and for us to get going. And when they ask me, okay, pay and get your tickets, I'll just remove 15,000 naira and say, our president said we are having a 50,000 naira 50% slash.
You have the right to say that. You have evidence.
How stupid would you look?
You have evidence.
Test the scenario how it looks. Okay. You said commencing from today, right? Commencing from today. What of those transport companies that filled their tanks yesterday before this commenced, and all those ones that filled their tanks on Sunday? Some of them got petrol for an amount, open sum of amount of 600 and something naira, 670 to 700. Remember, they have targets to meet up with. Remember, they have maintenance to do on their buses. Remember that
Even the bad roads too.
Remember that every festive period, why one of the reasons why prices during, I understand it's an understandable part, that why these transport companies, their prices tend to increase a little bit during the festive period is because when it's a one-way trip and you move from here to, they take you to your destination, they hardly have customers that they convey back to where their takeoff points. So let's say a bus loads from here, moves to Ibadan. They would hardly see anybody coming from Ibadan to Rivers at that moment. They would have to come empty, and those buses roll on petrol. They move on petrol. You see, when there ought to be ways towards doing this. If you know you want to do something, you put it and do it wholeheartedly. Do it in its entirety. Resolve its angles, resolve the pros and cons. Okay, we are talking about the prospects in this now. We're not talking about the negative aspects. You say there is a deduction in transport fare. These companies, after you talk to them, you know, since the government, the federal government is superior to these companies, and nobody wants to be in the black book of the government, so they don't look for ways to fold you up. That is why everybody would say that yes, yes, yes. Right? Everybody will accept, okay, this company, and from today being Thursday, 21st of December, you would be charging 10,000 naira instead of 20,000 naira from now till 15 days time. So you are trying to let these companies know that for each person that is being conveyed from this state to another state, half of that amount is being lost. If it gets, okay, let's say they agree and everything goes well and fine till this 15 days time. When it gets to that 15 days time, how sure are we that they wouldn't hike the price again to recover for the losses that have been made in these 15 days? So you see the things that are to be considered. Okay, assuming when you tell them to do these things, assuming when you tell them to engage in this reduction of the transport fare, you then contact each, let's say you work with the NNPC to at least reduce the price of petrol to at least 600 naira or 500 naira. Give them at least a little discount for them to have as compensation on their own. Because it's the after effects that we are considering, not how we enjoy it now. How many persons travel from here to the east and return back before 4th of January? In my own village, in my own community, 4th of January, the festive period is still ongoing. If I travel to the village now, I'm not expected to come back on 4th of January. There are some persons that it's even that 3rd and 4th that they are just starting their merriment. Imagine from the whole 365 days in a year, 366 days in a leap year, you are having 2 weeks, 3 weeks to hang out with family and all that. Then some persons are traveling, let's say 22nd, 23rd. Some persons are even traveling 28th. From 28th to the 4th, it's a week and 2 days. What merriment would I have? If I decide now to come back on the 6th, are you trying to tell me that if these companies, instead of charging 20,000 that they are supposed to charge on a normal basis, before telling them to slash the price, if they tell me 30,000, what should I do? Would I come and complain to the government? Would I be stranded there? And all of us know how January is for every other person.
Yes.
How long it is and how down it brings everybody. Because we know the expenses that we do this period.
That means most people will not come back from there.
Exactly. We will then be stranded in our villages. We will then stay put there without anything. If they hike the price, will the federal government still come in to help us resolve that again? If you say you are definitely bringing a deduction in the transport fare, why not make it to at least 2nd week of January? At least everybody would have been clear with whatever they are doing in the village. Nobody would be stranded there. You deduct 10,000 naira from me. Fine and good, I appreciate that. But that's money you deducted from me. I'll definitely spend it this festive period. How sure are you that when I want to come back, they will still charge me that amount that you asked them to charge me as at after that deadline that you give? My dear, if anybody that wants to do anything should just do it wholesomely. Do it in a way that it will favor and benefit everybody. Not like helping me resolve this thing now, and before I get to the front, it will get on me again and it will affect me more. Because prior to now, everybody had it in their mindset that once it comes to the festive period. There's a hike in transportation. Everybody had it in their mind. The average citizen that travels, let's say, 100 kilometers and pays 5,000 naira, has it in their mind that they pay 7 to 10,000 naira. Either you let it be that way, or you do it in a way that it will accommodate everybody, and in a way that it will not backfire on us later on.
Yes.
Because if you let these companies lose for a whole 15 days, they might not then increase the fare immediately after that 15 days. They might, instead of that normal fare to be paid that time, they will then be increasing it a little bit, and we will not be feeling it. Maybe 500 naira difference, 700 naira difference for like 5 months straight, and we wouldn't know. We'll only be complaining. I thought we paid 7,000 naira before. Why are we paying 7,500? You wouldn't know they are trying to meet up with. So for the fact it's not a government-run organization, it is not a non-governmental organization. They are prone to making profits. That is their sole aim, making profits. It is a different thing when you tell them to engage in communal philanthropic activities than telling them to slash prices to their own detriment, of which we will suffer on later on.
All right, we move over to our next newspaper. We're looking at the Guardian newspaper, and it's leading Yaba Psychiatric Hospital records 100% admission spike, says CMD, and that's on page 4 of the newspaper. Are people getting more mentally ill?
From what I read earlier before now, someone said it's because of the economy, but I disagree with that, because we know that if we are being truthful to ourselves, we know that the youths of this generation, because it dominated 90% of those persons in the psychiatric home in Yaba Left and those psychiatric homes in Lagos are dominated by youths. We know that the drug usage, the drug abuse this period it's too much.
Drug abuse.
Rarely before do you go on the streets. At least you would pass 2, 3, 4, 5 communities before you see a madman. But now before you come out from these streets, you see a madman. Before you get into another street, you see another madman.
And they're mostly young people.
Exactly. Making it an excuse that
it is. See a 15-year-old child already abusing drugs.
Exactly.
It's getting
making it, and I blame these unprecedented, unprofessional pharmacies and chemists that do even make these drugs available to them. We know that these drugs are meant for treatment, but if being abused, it will affect you. See, this is our brain. There's how it works, right?
Okay, but let me point out who I would like to blame for all this. I would like to blame our celebrities. You see music artists smoking openly, doing videos, and they're just smoking anyhow. Why are they showing their young audience?
Exactly. This.
It needs to be curtailed. There are some things we shouldn't appreciate in our culture.
Celebrities.
Don't give them an excuse.
No, I'm not trying to justify the act, because I am not an advocate of drug abuse.
No.
But what I am trying to say is, we know that these celebrities have influence on their followers, have influence on their fans, right? But when you know the truth, you should keep to it. If you know truly well that this is not, at the end of the day, I always believe that all of us know what we are doing. Okay. We know what is wrong from what is right. We just choose to be influenced by that. If you see a celebrity run into a house that is set on fire, would you, as the fan of that celebrity, go and do that same thing? No, because you know it will harm you.
If he comes out, I will do it.
If he comes out, you want to still try. Okay, are there not celebrities that influencers that are of positive mindset? Why are not our youths not imitating from them?
Bad things are easier to copy.
Exactly, because of the vibe that they feel like it gives. If you ask a random smoker, why do you smoke? He would say, the stress of the country,
I need to feel good,
joblessness, I just want to keep my mind. You keeping your mind array, keeping your mind in a higher state is making you think. Our brain, like I was trying to say, our brain is built in a way that it has its own breakpoint. You and I, same way in a class. Let me deviate a little bit. Same way in a class where we have students. If we write exam, there are persons that would score A, there are persons that would score B, there are persons that would still fail in that course that is being taught to everybody by the same lecturer, same course outline, same topic. You understand? Same thing applies to our brain. The capacity of each person's brain, the IQ level, is not the same. The person that smokes, okay, take for example this celebrity that smokes every now and then. He smokes 2-3 times in the morning. He does drugs. At the end of the day, he would get to his hospital and take a cleansing, eat good food, you understand, feel good. But you an average youth in the street would come out, do it and sleep on hunger. You strain your brain, do drugs, it will affect you. And most importantly, you know that if you run mad today, your parents, your people, you yourself do not even have what it takes to treat yourself. These psychiatric homes, let's not even go there.
You have a lot to talk about the
Exactly.
psychiatric home.
So
But
let's know you to deviate and give it as an excuse.
So no to drug abuse.
No to drug abuse, because there are countries, there are places that Nigeria economy is better than. Do they abuse drugs this way?
Because
Are they
we have
recording
young
high
boys
100%
using a
level
lot
of drug
things
abuse?
these days I don't even understand. Young boys, even young girls too.
When I was growing up, those elderly brothers brother them in the streets that do drugs, that smoke, they hide and do it.
That's what I was talking
They would always have a little place that maybe
That's
they call
what I
it a
pointed
bunk
out earlier.
where they do it. But now randomly
It's
you will
very
see
open.
somebody doing it on the street.
Even young boys too, that's
a
supposed to
20
be
years
afraid.
a 20 years old guy would see elderly people on the streets still light his smoke and put it in his mouth. Those times when we were growing up, you dare not try it.
No.
Parents
Those
will
are
tell their
non-completed
children to disassociate themselves
They will
from
go
you.
to an uncompleted building.
Exactly.
Now everybody's in the open.
Everybody's doing it like it's
in
a normal
completed
lifestyle.
buildings now.
Exactly.
All right, still on the newspaper, Tinubu slashes fare by 15% for travelers during the festive season, and that's on page 3 of the newspaper. Why Nigerian universities rank globally. Let me take that again. Why Nigerian universities are ranked low globally, and that's on page 7 of the newspaper. Akpabio swears in Lalong into 10th Senate, declares Umahi's seat vacant, and that's on page 20 of the Guardian newspaper. Lagos, Ogun, Nigerians' most economic valuable state, says report, and that's on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Fubara denies signing peace deal under duress, refuses to withdraw suit, and that's on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribe of the Guardian newspaper, rather. And that's all we'll be taking on the newspaper. Jerry, I would like your thoughts on the story on page 6. Fubara denies signing peace deal under duress, refuses to withdraw suit. I feel like there's been a lot.
I was waiting patiently because I know that is the headline that you would delve into.
There's been a lot about River State.
Yes, there's been a lot.
The political crisis.
It's too much.
It's
Can we just
getting
have
alarming.
a break? Can we just have a break in River State?
I think there was a break. There was a break before we had we saw a break. Then
That
the next
wasn't
thing
the
we
break.
knew
They were preparing for.
we saw a
part
break.
2.
The next thing we knew, bam, APC. A whole 27 lawmakers moving to APC. That was something I wasn't expecting to see.
Exactly.
I don't know if you were expecting that, but I wasn't expecting that too.
You know the Nigerian politics, especially the state level. Nothing is predictable. They just maybe wake up one morning based on what they tend to gain or what their oga at the top is telling them.
Yes, what they are going to tell, because that's what we see.
Because
Godfatherism.
they are just Godfatherism and this indirect rule. You would see a person giving instructions, not knowing it's not coming from their own thoughts, their own ideas. They are having other influence from above. Upper hand telling them what to do. Now coming to this Fubara issue. The lawmakers, those people that defected to APC. Like I said, everybody knows what they are doing. They know that this is not right. They know that they are supposed to be impeached. They know that their positions are to be relinquished and new persons reinstated. They know that. Because such has happened, I think, in Ebonyi State some time ago. And I think Cross River State or Akwa Ibom, if I'm not mistaken. And the rule of law stated that you came into power with this in the name tag of this political party.
Yes.
Why then defect to another party? If you defect to another party, would you still claim that you got into this? Then go if you know you are defecting. Go let another person come under that party and replace your position. Because you are indirectly saying you are not doing. You wouldn't be working in Coca-Cola company and be collecting salary from Pepsi. It's not possible. You see, now Fubara on his own end is I wouldn't say he's acting confused. I think he's a playmaker. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
All right. The new thing from this River State crisis is that Tinubu had to step in. President Bola Tinubu had to step in. He had to step in to try to resolve it. They had a meeting in Abuja.
To me, what is the president doing in state level politics? Why not? Are they not capable enough to handle such situations? Wasn't the
No, I felt that Tinubu had to step in.
Wasn't the governor? Wasn't the
was
governor the one that came out on his own to contest for this election? Was he appointed? No, he contested for the election, so he knows he's of age. He knows what he's doing. And there are times when you have a plan in mind, you have things to do, but when a higher authority puts power in it, you tend to then lower down your ego and not do what you want to do. At times, you just have to let the poor breathe. He said it before. Let the governors breathe. Let them do what they are capable of doing. Let them play the politics the way they want to do it. He contested the election. He won it. Things are not going the way it should. It's his state at this moment. He's the 001 of the state. There are other things that the president should be bothered about. Not the state level politics. This is just to tell you that he has, obviously, whether they agree or not, he has a subtle gain in it.
Of course he does.
Because
that's what you see.
If he doesn't have a gain in it, he wouldn't be bothered. There are other states languishing in different issues in Nigeria currently. But why is this of a whole worry to you that you had to call a panel?
There was political crisis in Ondo State he stepped into.
Did he handle it this way? Did he call a panel like this? And calling a panel, did he call the newly appointed speaker, state speaker? No. It was the previous one that was there.
That's the Ambehude.
Exactly. Was it supposed to be that way? How many persons from the Fubara faction was present at that meeting? I'm not blaming anybody that calls it a Durex agreement. Because persons from the FCC minister's angle and from the president's angle were more than from the governor Fubara's angle. Now he's coming to say he didn't sign anything under Durex. But we saw a memo that his signature was appended on. We don't know how it was done, maybe through photoshopping, through editing, or through copy and paste. We don't know. But for the fact that we saw your signature on this thing, what are we supposed to think? What is the average man supposed to think? Now, almost everybody that supported his political ambition, different unions, the Ijo, are saying they are ashamed of him. It's more like a betrayal and all that.
We don't actually know what's going on right now. Although
he is a playmaker, like I said. He knows what he's doing. The persons around him know what they are doing. The judicial powers that are backing him know what they are doing too. Okay, I saw the persons that defected to the APC withdrew their impeachment charge against him. To let you know, they know what they are doing also. Why are you withdrawing it if you are sure that he is to be impeached?
That was part of the agreement, the memo they signed. That was part of the agreement that they should withdraw the impeachment and he should reinstate them back and he should no longer interfere in River Assembly's crisis.
Should I tell you for free? Whether they signed that memo or not, they would at the end withdraw that charge.
Okay.
What tangible thing are you holding against him? So they're just using it as a yardstick to negotiate. Okay, keep short from this angle, we wouldn't impeach you. As to what? As to how? On to what level? Now he's saying he's not withdrawing his own charge of them relinquishing their seats. It's a two-way thing. It's either they withdraw, they go back to their political party, or relinquish the seats. There's no, it's that their idea, their decision, their plan is dead on arrival to me.
Do you see this blowing into something bigger?
I was thinking it would become something bigger. But reading the news, seeing how Fubara is moving, he's a playmaker, like I said. He knows what he's doing. He has a good strategy already. It will not get blown anywhere.
You think he has a good strategy?
He has. He do. Because I feel like it's the current play out of things that have enlightened him more. Because I think there are things that he was not aware of that he wanted to be governor. Seeing how the outer phase of being a governor is sweet, seeing how power is, and the good plan he has for the people of River State, right? But seeing the underground, seeing the roots part of things that he didn't know has opened his eyes to so many things. That is why he's re-strategizing. Bet you me, if Wike knew that Fubara would be this stubborn-headed, go at loghead with him, he would for no reason.
But did you think the move by the governor of demolishing the River State House of Assembly was correct?
Exactly, it's very correct. At this point,
I heard from some sources from... What did I just say? Because I heard from some sources actually that the president during the meeting actually frowned at Fubara demolishing the River State House of Assembly.
Yes, there was a time...
The ex-governor accused him of setting that house ablaze.
Let's lay the accusation aside. So what I am trying to say is, he first came out and said, of a truth, we know that any building that has been attacked by fire, that has fire outbreak,
needs to be renovated.
Exactly. Either renovated. And later he reviewed it and said that the building, instead of being renovated, needs to be brought down and restructured. And who would counter that? What if they leave that building like that and someday it collapses and kills people?
Do you think it was political? Was that political?
Everything around...
Maybe so the house won't see.
Everything around this thing is politically affiliated. You understand? That's why I said he's a playmaker. From the onset, he was aware that after the fire outbreak, it needs renovation. He even moved towards the renovation. Later, he came and said, after his assessment, it needs to be brought down. He didn't just wake up one day and bring the building down. Remember, the building caught fire before now. So he is a good playmaker.
Yes.
Let's not delve into how he caught fire and all that. Let's just leave that angle. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we go on a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll take our last newspaper for the day. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
The Children's Studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back. We'll take our last newspaper for the day. We'll look at Daily Independent newspaper. Rep urge adoption of Chinese currency as reserve currency, and that's on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Rivers crisis. We won't return to PDP, defected lawmakers. And you can read that up on page 4 of the Daily Independent. Lagos orders evacuation of trucks along Tin Can Port Corridor. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. What do you think about this?
That's this Tin Can Port area is located at Apapa, the Apapa Wharf side, where the Port Authority works, where they're shipping containers and all that. But if you look at this Tin Can area, looking at from the Wima side, the Marina side, then even from the end of Ajegule SF, you will see that every street, every roadside is dominated with trucks. These trucks that carry containers. These truck owners, it's not a one-person thing. There are different persons that own about 2 to 5, 7, 10 trucks that they use in moving imported containers to where it ought to be. Maybe when you pay for their services. But when you know that you are not in active service, you don't have a work. Let's say for this week, nobody booked you. Look for a way and look for a garage and be parking your trailer. Stop littering it along the road.
And causing traffic.
Two cars cannot pass at once in that Tin Can street, that Tin Can environment as a whole. You would look at the left side, there are trailers line up there. Look at the opposite direction, still the same thing, causing unnecessary hold up, unnecessary traffic. It's something, if you just browse the picture, tin can. Everything you will be seeing would deviate from seeing containers that are being shipped to trailers, trucks, every nooks and crannies of tin can. The whole of that Apapa Wharf, aside it is even left for them to even park their trailers inside the sea. You know that it's a work basis. They would book you first, pay for your services before you put a container on your truck and you deliver it. Other things that you deliver, maybe they offload goods, they bring out cars, they bring out gadgets, electronics, and all that. But you know, for a span of 1-2 weeks, there are some trucks that are there that are even damaged. Some of them, there was a time that, sometime ago when I passed that side, there's no engine in that truck, like no engine. It's obvious that the truck might have been there for years, and it's been stuck there. Why not sell it out or move it out? Why turn the tin can area when you know it's a business area for the country? It's a federal government thing. You turn that area to your garage. It's not proper. Exactly.
All right, still on the newspaper, REP urges adoption of Chinese currency as additional reserve currency, and that's on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Nigeria wants to adopt Chinese currency.
Let's not wake up one day and hear that they tell us to adopt Chinese names. Maybe I'll be answering Chifu and you'll be answering
Kushinping. That'll be a good one for me. Okay, Apabio declares Umahi Gadam senatorial seat vacant, and that's also on page 7 of the Daily Independent. NJC begins probe into petition against Chief Judge Oshimole, most destructive threat to APC, says Amosun, and that's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. Senate asks IGP to compare CAC Registrar General to appear before it within 24 hours, and that's on page 29 of the newspaper. Tinubu cuts interstate luxury bus fares by 50%, and that's on page 6 of the Daily Independent, and that's all we're talking on the Daily Independent. I would like your thoughts on the story on page 7. Apabio declares Umahi senatorial seat vacant.
I've been waiting for them to do this, to make this call a very long time. These persons that were listed contested for the position of being senators, for senatorial positions, and of course they won it. They won their positions. They were duly elected. You get, but along the long run, they were given different appointments. Take the former governor of Ebonyi State, for example, Dave Umahi. Yes, he was made Minister of Works. Right?
Minister of Works, yes.
So being a minister makes him, you cannot run two tough positions like that at once. Makes him focus more on the ministerial position than the senatorial one. Because the ministerial one calls for more attention, more activities, more business. There's no way he would run those two. So it's proper for them to be dissolved of the senatorial positions. But another thing to worry about is what then happens to those vacant positions? Will they start to play dirty politics with it? If you say the position declares that the position is vacant now, hasn't it been vacant for the past 2-3 months? Because the position, the office being allocated to them and everything, they have not been using it. The Minister for Works has been busy all this while in the FCT doing different things and in his ministerial office. So to say, aside the official announcement, that position has been vacant for a while now. Haven't the allocations been paid? Haven't their monthly salaries been paid consecutively? Did they deprive them of that? Now, if you say another person is to uphold those positions, what pattern would you use? Remember, it's a position that is being contested for.
Yes.
It is not an appointment-made position. How would you go about it? Would you then make room for contest to that position? Or would there be appointment to that position? It's good. It's a good thing, good and fine that they made it known that they cannot serve two masters at once. Those are two tough positions that need full-time activeness of the person put in that place. But let them know how to go about it. And for the position to be vacant for a while now, there hasn't been any slight change. Like, we didn't notice it. That is why we didn't feel it. That's why we didn't complain about it. Did you notice that the Minister for Works has not been in the senatorial position for a while?
We didn't notice.
Exactly. So with or without them, we've been moving, we've been forging ahead. So my question is, how then would they solve that? How then would they fill in that gap? And where and when would they fill in that gap? Let them not play dirty politics in it. That is all I have to state till whenever they would say another thing concerning that. Because I know before they would say anything concerning that again would be after a span of 2-3 months.
Yeah, let's just see how that plays out. Unfortunately, this is where we draw our curtains for today. It was a great time on the newspaper review on TAP TV. I still remain your host, Sophia John. I didn't do this alone. I was joined by Jerry. Jerry, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
You can also be a part of the show. Follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Twitter, TAPTV_NG. We're on Instagram, TAPTV_NG. And of course, we are also on TikTok, TAPTV_NG. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Till we meet again tomorrow, stay safe.